Welcome back to another episode of the Trash Talk Podcast. This will be a little bit of a special one, in parts because in the second topic we'll have Sergey brought on for some breaking news and discussion about interesting stuff. We're not going to take away what it is, but it changed my life fundamentally, is all I can say about that. By the way, don't be surprised if in the second topic some of us might be wearing different shirts. That's because that segment will be recorded at another time. So if that happens, that's what it's going to be. But if we want to do the first topic and the halftime show, as always, it's Pop Quiz Day, and it's my turn to demonstrate my hopefully a little bit better knowledge than usual in pop quizzes, as I'm still shooting for a 60% score.
Yes, better knowledge, of course, he's saying than me because I'm bad at these.
I mean, better than I usually do because I haven't done 60% yet, and that's my...
Have you not? I thought you did it on, the first one.
Did I? Was it... Might have been, close.
Might have been... Oh, no, the first one I think was the one where we had to dispute over the counting,
right.
And you were either at exactly 60% or one off.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is, I want 30 correct. We have 50 questions, pop quiz questions, blah, 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 blah.com. It's a British website. You play against me. JJ is going to read out 50 questions. He's going to speak clearly and slowly, and then I'm going to just take a second for you at home to answer the question. Then I will answer the question. JJ gives the correct answer, and I will check off on my list whether I got it right or wrong, and so can the viewers at home. And at the end, you put your score in the comments and compare it to my score. That's the way it goes. So I'm ready to knock this out of the park this time. I'm feeling smart today. Let's hear what you got.
Actress Emma Watson of Harry Potter fame. Could you please not speak over me? Actress Emma Watson of Harry Potter fame was born in which country?
Okay. Great Britain.
That is wrong. It is France.
Is her name really Emma Watson then?
Yes, that's the name I know her as. It might not be her.
Is that the character name or the actor?
The actress. Huh. Though, to be fair, you don't even have to be French to be born in France, necessarily. But likely, of course. Thor Heyerdahl, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly, led an expedition to sail from Peru to French Polynesia. What was the name of the raft they sailed on?
Kon-Tiki.
That is correct. Who composed the work The Magic Flute?
Mozart.
That is correct.
Got it.
I mean, I would have also known that, although I would have had to think a little bit because I'm actually more used to hearing the German title.
Yeah, I surprisingly, of course, I know it from his epic rap battle against freaking Skrillex.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You would have not known that otherwise?
I would have known it otherwise, but that's where I knew it right away.
Oh, yeah.
Associated.
This author's first major work was Down and Out in Paris and London in 1933. Name him.
George Orwell.
That is correct. I hate it. I hate it when I already know I'm gonna butcher something. Chennai? I think, maybe? Chennai?
The place, yes. Yeah.
Was formerly known by what name?
Okay. Madras.
Yes.
Chennai is correct.
Heliology is the study of what?
The fire or the sun. I think it's the sun.
It is the sun.
Sun.
Why would it be fire?
I don't know. The association was there.
I mean, yeah, the sun is burning, but Helios?
Fire is like pyros or something, right? Helios is the sun.
I mean, probably. I don't know what the exact study of fire would be called, but... Mr. Darcy is a major character in which novel?
Mr. Darcy?
Yes.
Pride and Prejudice.
That is correct. Which Californian city is the state capital?
Sacramento.
Sorry, it's state capital, but yes, it's Sacramento.
Big trap question for a lot of people. I'm sure someone said LA, someone said San Francisco, someone said San Diego.
In the sitcom Dad's Army, to whom would Captain Mainswaring be speaking when he said, "You stupid boy"?
Tom Hanks.
Private Pike. I it was kind of funny when you ask for a character name and you say Tom Hanks.
Listen, man, I know like 3 actors. Okay, like, give me a break. And the character, yeah, okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna either name the actor when it's called for actor, or I'm gonna name the character when it's called for character. That's what I'm gonna do from the moment.
Which planet, beginning with M, takes 88 days to orbit the sun?
50-50 shot. I'm gonna take Mercury.
That is correct.
It's very close, you see.
I mean, I feel like if they're asking for a planet in our solar system, giving the first letter was a bit unnecessary.
It's not Mars, because Mars is farther out than Earth. That's first sheet, right?
That should be the first sheet, yes.
What am I, wait. Yeah, I'm 8 and 2. Dude, we're getting there, man. 60%'s happening today. It was a good first sheet.
Nicole Brown Simpson, the murdered wife of O.J. Simpson, was born in which country?
Like the way they formulate it very politically. The murdered wife of O.J. Simpson.
Well,
who could have done that?
No one was ever convicted for the murder.
True, if it doesn't fit. The question was her country of origin, yeah?
Yes.
I know this, but God help me come up with it. I've heard this story. I think she's European, right? Like Austria?
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
The correct answer is Germany.
Right. It was something.
And yes, she is European.
Yeah.
1 second here, small technical thing. Okay. Ugh, great, and a pop-up. The film Spellbound starred Gregory Peck and Ingrid Bergman, but who directed it?
Tom Hanks.
It is Sir Alfred Hitchcock.
I've heard of that guy, actually.
Yes.
Maybe I should have guessed. I should have guessed the real name, man. I need to not throw these away. Crap.
Now, we're going back to a composer that we've talked about before.
Okay.
Mozart composed a piece that means a little serenade. When translated to English, what is the piece called?
Like, it's kind of unfortunate that the Magic Flute is the only Mozart piece I know.
You've heard of this one.
I
mean,
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know, man.
Eine kleine Nachtmusik.
I've heard of them. I might have.
I've heard of it before.
No, you have?
Yeah.
You know Mozart better than me?
I guess.
I'm not sure if I've heard of that one. It's German. That's for sure. I can tell.
I'm pretty sure we did that. We might have done it in music class at one point.
Don't get me with music class. That is long gone from the brain. Damn. Not looking good.
What is the name of the author and poet whose poems include Mandalay and If? If you want, I can spell the first one, but it's probably not gonna help you much.
That's an obscure name, or am I blanking? Jesus.
I haven't heard of that person before, but that doesn't mean anything.
T.S. Eliot.
Let me butcher that person's first name.
Right.
It's Rudyard Kipling.
Okay.
Wait, is it Rudyard?
Rudyard.
I don't know. Point being, it's Kipling.
Terrible.
Maybe here's an easier one for you.
Maybe.
What is the Roman numeral for 50? That is correct.
L. Famously, Super Bowl 50 was known as Super Bowl 50, not Super Bowl L, because Super Bowl L would have looked weird.
Yes.
Pretty sure it does the Broncos one too.
What ology is the study of the skull?
Skull, cranium, craniology?
The correct answer is craniology.
That counts, I guess?
Yeah. I don't think we have to go there.
Yeah.
That you knew the freaking Latin name for the cranium. Well, for the skull. Of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, which is the only one still surviving?
I guess you'd call it surviving. It's the Pyramid of Giza.
Yes, the Great Pyramid of Giza.
By the way, not all of those 7 wonders of the ancient world have been proven to exist beyond any doubt.
What is the cooking term for pasta, which is cooked until just firm and is taken from the Italian?
Al dente.
That is correct. I have heard of that before, but I would not have been able to come up with that.
What? Really? Pasta al dente? Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Switzerland has 4 official languages. French, German, Italian, and which other?
What's it called? Romansh?
It is, in fact, Romansh.
Romansh. There we go.
In parentheses, Romansh.
Romansh.
I suppose that's once
Sure.
the...
Once the Romansh pronunciation and once the...
I guess. It's Romansh with an O and SH at the end, and then it's Romansh with a U and TSCH at the end.
They don't need that many languages. Small country.
Well, one more question for this sheet. Des Moines is the capital city of which U.S. state? Sorry, USA state. Which sounds really awkward.
Yeah. The United State of Iowa.
That is correct. Dude.
I am 14 and 6.
Of which USA state?
United States of America state.
Like, I mean...
if you worded it out completely, United States state would sound weird.
Yes, but I feel like US state is just how it's usually said.
What it should be is of which U state of A. That's what the question would be.
Well, the surrender of Japan in 1945 brought an end to World War II. What was the name of the American ship on which the surrender documents were signed?
The USS Missouri.
That is correct.
Mr. MacArthur, I believe. Pretty sure that's what.
With temperatures in excess of 470 degrees Celsius, which is the hottest planet in our solar system?
If I remember correctly, it's somewhat counterintuitively is Venus, even though Mercury is closer, but it's not hotter.
That is correct. What is the name for the process of water flowing through a permeable membrane in the direction of the higher solution concentration?
Osmosis.
That is correct.
Thank you, biology class.
See, the thing is, I knew that, but like the way it's worded, it would have taken me a second.
Yeah.
Oh boy. In a 2015 vote by 100 bosses from the UK's toy manufacturers, which toy did they vote to have been the most influential to childhoods over the last 50 years? A. Rubik's Cube, B. Lego, or C. Yo-Yo?
Yo-Yo was a complete fad. The Rubik's Cube was a bit of a fad that still exists. It's gotta be Lego. If these are boomers, right? These are boomer bosses, so who knows what they vote for, but Lego is the objectively correct answer.
Lego is correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I like yo-yos. They also, interestingly enough, spell it as one word here.
Yeah.
Which I'm generally more used to seeing it as with a dash.
Or yo-yo. Just
I don't know. Neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never been a yo-yo person. Rubik's Cube though? Yeah.
Gruyere cheese originated from which European country? I'm going to spell it really quickly.
Yes.
It is Gruyere.
Gruyere cheese. From which European country?
Yes.
Countries that make cheese. They're not the most obvious country because it's supposed to be a tough question. Denmark.
It is Switzerland.
Okay, it was the most obvious one. Great. One of the most obvious ones.
In what area of London is the sitcom Only Fools and Horses set?
Straight bang in the middle of Buckingham Palace.
It is Peckham. What is the largest Spanish-speaking country in terms of area?
Argentina.
That is correct. Pyrophobia is the fear of what? Yes.
You brought pyro up before. Fire.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also, is it a phobia? Because like phobia is supposed to be unreasonable.
I mean, I guess you could have an unreasonable amount of fear to fire.
Or like
right?
of a small candle.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
Exactly. That's what I mean, right? Like you
can't cook or
like
something. Right?
you won't go within a mile of a campfire. You know.
That might be true.
Even if your pants are not made of oil.
Yeah, like Sergei's. He sat right next to it too. He didn't give a shit. He lived.
Yes. Yeah. What is the term for a hunting group of baboons?
I don't know, so I'll just guess like something cool, like it's a squad.
It's a troop.
It's true.
Which is kind of close, but still wrong. Which team won the inaugural season of the Football League? Not that one!
Because of out of pure protest, I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers, because that's obviously the first Super Bowl champions. So, yeah, there you go. I know that's not what they mean, because it's a British quiz.
It is Preston North End.
I am perfectly on track after three sheets with 20 and 10.
Oh, that is pretty good. Wait, that's
pretty good.
not perfectly on track. That's actually above.
Yeah, but that's...
I was going to say, because 18 and 12 would be exactly.
But that's...
Yeah, I mean, I guess you've begun worse per sheet, so I guess you're on track to still hitting it.
I like to be a little bit above so I can have some slip-ups. Because I know the actor questions are coming.
We have now the sheet 44 in total, 4 for today.
Yeah.
According to the International Paper Sizes Standard, what size has the dimensions 148 millimeters by 210 millimeters?
That's height. You're at A5?
It is A5.
There we go.
Who is the longest serving president of the United States of America?
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
That is correct.
On account of World War II.
Do you perchance also know how many years? Because it says, but it's not part of the question directly.
Somewhere between... Was it even 16? He served a long time. He died in office. It might not be an even number. It's, He got elected, I think, 3 times. Might have been like around 16 years or something like that.
It was 12 years.
12.
But I just was curious. Again, it's not part of, like, if you knew FDR, you didn't have to know the exact years, but it said in parentheses.
Typically, the limit is 2 terms, so 8 years.
I was about to say 2 terms, which are usually like the 4 years. The oldest football competition in the world was first held in 1871/2. What is its full official name?
That would be the Federation for British Ball Boys. Yep.
That wasn't even the question. The question was the competition, not the association. But yeah, it is the Football Association Challenge Cup.
Okay. Good.
The ceramic porcelain was first developed in which country?
China.
That is correct. The International Space Station has been continuously occupied since it was completed in which year? A. 1990. B. 1995. C. 2000.
It's not very... it's a coin flip, 1995. Either that or 2000, but I say 95.
It is 2000. You are wrong.
Crap.
In plants, what is the name for the process of metabolizing / in parentheses burning sugars to yield energy for growth, reproduction, etc.?
That's the photosynthesis, the light thing, so this is respiration?
That is correct. I could see a lot of people answer photosynthesis to this.
Yeah, because they just jump out and say the one process.
Yeah. In what decade was the Rubik's Cube invented?
There's a lot of colors to it. The 70s.
That is correct. Oh, you're saying you couldn't have advertised it that well on like 60s black and white TV?
No, 60s was too black and white, and then the 80s weren't hippie enough, so it had to be 70s.
What formula is used to calculate the circumference of a circle?
2r times pi.
Technically, they list something else, but that is correct.
D times pi.
They also, they list d times pi, which is the diameter times pi. Of course, 2 times radius is the diameter. So I'm not going to say that's wrong.
Yeah, about to say.
But, not what I said.
Okay.
I actually prefer the 2 pi r one as well because
the
area is pi r squared.
Yeah, the radius is also used in other situations.
Exactly.
No need to name an extra variable.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to name an extra variable, it's tau times r.
Tau times.
Because tau is 2 pi.
Correct.
And the symbol is half a pi, because gotta be confusing. Where was I? Alright, there's 2 more questions on the sheet. What enzyme is added to milk to make it coagulate before being made into cheese?
Oh, God, this I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be René or Rennet, but it is R-E-N-N-E-T.
Depends on if it's French or not.
That's the question. Rennet. Just split the syllable in the middle as well, for good measure. It's Rennet.
Rennet.
What is the name of the Anglo-Saxon god whose name is the derivation of the day Wednesday?
Ah, shit. Ah, crap. The holiest of days. Yeah, I know this, and I'm not gonna come up with it. So you should tell me what it is.
They list Woden. I would have said Wotan or Odin, but yes, that all kind of sort of the same thing. I believe Wotan is a Germanic name, Odin is the Nordic name, but it's all at the end of the day the same dude.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, Woden and Wotan might just be different spellings. Yes, Thursday, of course, named after his son Thor.
That I would.
Okay, last sheet. How's it going for you?
I am 26 and 14. Cutting it damn close out here, man.
Yeah, but that's almost as good as last round.
Cutting it damn close.
What is the nationality of international cricketer Zubair Hamza? Should I spell some of them?
Oh, no. Cricket, New Zealand.
South Africa.
Crap.
Following the general election of 2019, who became Father of the House of Commons?
It's funny that they call it that, huh?
That's what I just thought, like, what?
Peter Bottomley.
It is, in fact, Sir Peter Bottomley.
Soaking it fuck.
How could your name be more British than Sir Peter Bottomley? It was like Sir William Bottomley or like Edward Bottomley.
Peter is pretty British. Hey, bruv. The Vedas, a collection of hymns praising the Vedic gods, is the main scripture of which religion? Spelling of the first word?
Vedas is V-E-D-A-S, and the gods thereby are V-E-D-I-C.
That should be Hinduism.
That is correct. I don't know how that would actually be pronounced.
Vedas?
I don't speak Hindi.
Okay.
Which I guess is the language that means. Just general extrapolation. Born Leonardo Bonacci in Pisa, Italy. Which mathematician identified a sequence where the following number is made by adding the 2 previous numbers?
Fibonacci.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's a good sequence.
Yeah. I was like
I need one more point to hit 30. My dudes.
I was like, born Leonardo Bonacci, like, where the fuck is this going? And it's like,
Fibonacci.
The sequence where, Fibonacci sequence. Exactly.
1 more point for 30. Let's do it. Let's go.
Well, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more questions.
Easy. I cannot get one of those. Come on.
What is the purpose of a ballast tank in a boat or submarine?
Ballast tank?
Yes.
Like in a submarine, it's for sinking. It's for sinking. And then once you're down, throw it out to get back up.
A means of helping to control buoyancy and stability.
That's a quarter of a point. You know what? No, it's not.
What you explained is more the purpose on like hot air balloons.
No, I guess. Buoyancy is no.
Right? No. That was my point. Right? I was like, first of all, I hate this question.
Yeah.
Not because of what they're asking.
Open-ended question.
But because of how open the answer is, right? It's really hard if you're asking for a name or a place or a year or something like that.
If I'd had to use the keyword buoyancy in describing what I meant, then it would have worked. But this is too far off.
And that's the question. It's really hard to judge how far off it is. That's also the same thing for like freaking. I hated these in school as well. It's like I'd much rather answer question with a definitive answer, or like did some math or something, but like
exactly. The opener was a tough.
Freaking writing an essay and then like missing some key points because you focus on the wrong points is dumb.
Still 4 more shots. Let's get it.
The next one you are going to know probably. A Pascal is the SI unit for measuring what?
Yes. Pressure.
That is correct.
Hey, I got it. We have 30 points.
Which nation won the 2014 FIFA World Cup?
I could not care less. It was obviously the great nation. That's soccer, right? That's
Yes, it's soccer.
It's Brazil.
No.
Crap.
It is, in fact, not Brazil, who is, of course, leading with 5 wins. It is one of the teams that's tied for 4 wins.
Let's go Brazil.
Which is not Italy, but Germany. Which I would have known, actually.
Should have known that, I guess.
It was kind of a big deal around the time.
Yeah. Yuck. I don't know.
It's probably the first time that I like had absolutely no interest in the World Cup. Like I was like passively keeping like tabs of who was in it usually.
Yeah.
This is the first time I really didn't care at all. And I only found out like a month or two after it had happened. But I still found out about it because, you know, the country I'm currently residing in won. Like, yes, it gets mentioned. The M55 motorway links the M6 north of Preston to which seaside town?
Southampton.
Blackpool. Which British city is affectionately known as Brizzle?
Brizzle?
Yes.
I guess that would be Bristol.
That is correct.
Yeah, there we go.
I thought it was a very dumb question because it seems like if you've heard of Bristol, you would kind of...
Brizzle. Is it spelled with a double Z like it's supposed to? Like
it is Brizzle.
Yeah. Brizzle.
Yeah.
Oh, Brizzle.
In...
One more question?
Yes. I'm going to read the question as it was written down, and you're going to see how it's stupid.
Okay.
In which was the film Grease released to cinemas? A. 1978, B. 1982, or C. 1986? I mean, I guess you could ask in which because it's a multiple choice question, but I would still just put year in there.
Absolute no idea. The latter. What is the last answer? C. There we go.
It is, in fact, 1978, which was the first answer.
Crap. I have no idea about movies.
And since they were chronologically sorted, you were the furthest off you could have been.
31 to 19. Eat my pants. I did it. There we go. I don't care about nothing else.
I mean, it's not a bad result.
Yeah, I did it. I had good questions for them.
There was, of course,
one. A lot of things came together.
There was at least one. I think it was exactly one multiple choice question that you missed, which was the last one.
Yeah.
Which, you know, there was.
That happens.
I mean, it's a guess, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously,
if you don't know,
you could have easily had another point there just by guessing correctly. Yeah. I mean, again, yeah, sure.
The ISS I also missed.
And
yes, that was 2.
Yeah, right, that too. And then I guess you could have known the World Cup question. I feel like that was knowable.
I feel like I should have known, like Odin is one that I should have known instead. And there was one other one, which I'm not exactly sure which one it was. There was 2 that I felt like I should have known, actually.
So yeah, you could have done better, but you did pretty well.
Over 60 pounds the first time. A lot of things have to come together for that to happen, but I had some good questions, and I will take it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fact of the week, and then we have a halftime show. So JJ, what is your fact of this week?
Well, you mentioned boomers earlier.
Boomers.
I just want to make sure that people are aware. I'm going to educate you.
Education.
Boomers.
Boomers.
Are people that were born between the years of 1946 and 1964.
46 to 64.
Just for context, I'm going to just go through the entire thing of presumably everyone that's currently alive. I would think so, yeah. Everyone is currently alive. The Greatest Generation. 1901 to 1927. Oh, by the way, all of these dates are as according to Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. Exact borders do vary a little bit.
1981 to what?
What? 1901 to 1927 is the Greatest Generation.
The Greatest Generation?
Yes.
As in World War I generation?
Yes.
Okay.
Followed by the Silent Generation, 28 through 1945.
Because of...
Those were the ones that were not old enough to serve in the Second World War.
Oh, and 2... Oh, no, they were not old enough for World War I, but too old for World War II. Right.
I mean, they were born between 28 and 45, so they didn't serve in World War II.
World War II, right? Yeah, that.
But they were around at least.
They dodged they dodged 2 bullets, dude.
Yeah.
Christ.
By the way, my maternal grandmother was born in 29, so she belongs in that category.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, means that there is no boomer living in this house, because boomers, as I said, 46 through 64, and then where my parents would fall is Gen X, 1965 through 1980.
Huh.
Ever so barely.
That's a big generation.
Millennials, people like to learn everything on them.
Smoke Dog in Hollywood, for example.
1981 through 1996, which means that kids these days are in fact not millennials.
They're not millennials. Millennials are grown-ass adults.
Yes, all of them.
Yeah,
because that means they're, at this point, 24 and over. Well, actually, I guess 23 and over if you're born at the tail end of 96. But which brings us to, well, us. Gen Z.
Yes.
1997
What's that?
through 2012.
2012.
Which also means
What's that?
Generation Alpha is already around.
They call it Generation Alpha?
Yeah.
Are they that bad?
I guess they really got lazier over time. Like Gen X, Gen Y got a catchy name, but later with
Gen
Millennials,
Alpha.
and then Gen Z never got a proper name.
So this current generation is like the raw prototype for like hopefully better generations in the past.
Yes.
Great. Awesome.
Which is generally set to start in the 2010s, mid-2010s, which obviously by this logic 2013 would be the first year, up to the early 20s. So not all too far into the future, we're going to have like Generation Beta.
So that's like only a 10-year generation there?
Hey, listen, right? That's just what they're saying.
Why was Gen X 25 years or something? And this, or 15? Was it 15?
Yeah, Gen X is 25.
25 years? What the hell? And
Wait, no, 15. Never mind. It's 15. So the greatest generation will be 26, though.
Yeah.
From 01 to 27.
Yeah, because people weren't counting as diligent.
The silent generation would be 17 years. Boomers would be 18 years. Gen X would be 15 years. Actually, one of the smaller ones. Millennials would be 15 years as well. Gen Z would also be 15 years. Yeah. And then Alpha would be 10-ish.
I always feel like 20 years made sense for a generation.
I think that's also officially what they generally say.
Yeah.
Like a generation is 20 years, but...
20 years would make sense.
Also, again, I love how these generations, as defined there, at least in my family, is just like, you just hit every other one, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, my grandma is from the silent generation, my parents are Gen X, and I'm Gen Z. We're skipping boomers and we're skipping millennials.
Because not everyone has kids at age 20, and if they make the gaps even smaller, that's what's going to happen.
Average age for a woman in Germany to get her first child, I believe, is 32 these days.
32?
That was on the radio this morning.
That is real. That is.
No, it might have been 30. It might have been that the projection for the future was 32 for some reason in the future. But yeah, it's been growing like. It's been going like over 1.5 years in the last decade or something. It used to be in their...
It's all financial. It's all financial, man. You can't fucking afford it. You cannot afford it. That's the thing. Our grandparents' generation had kids at our age, right? They just did somehow. Like, we can't afford that stuff. It's not like within the next 10 years, how are we going to pay it?
Kids are expensive. It's more so now because not because kids are more expensive these days, more so because living wages are not a thing anymore.
Everything's expensive and we don't got no money.
And then of course also people are having less kids, so it's not necessarily isn't much of a need to start early.
Because they can't afford them.
And of course because better contraception.
I guess, yeah.
That's definitely a big factor.
But like still, man. Just can't pay for them, Jesus.
And that brings us...
You gotta be like a millionaire first.
From learning through the quiz answers to learning through the facts. Actually, your fact.
They should make the...
Wait, did you have your fact already?
Yeah, one thing though, they should just make the generation windows larger rather than smaller. Because, like, if we're doing, like, between 10 and 15 years per generation now...
Counterpoint would be the fact that technology evolves faster. Because the generation isn't necessarily... I wouldn't not necessarily define as in how you would see in a family tree. But more so that the people that have similar life experiences will be grouped together, right?
But then it changes the meaning of definition a bit.
But generally they are grouped not by whose parents necessarily in this, but more by their life experiences, right? Mm-hmm. Like millennials are the ones that grew up with the internet, kind of, sort of, maybe.
Isn't that us?
Yeah, we are the ones that grew up from a young age with the internet, but millennials are the ones that are like young enough to still get the tech stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then you got boomers, which are like absolutely not getting it, and like Gen X is kind of in between.
Rarely.
And then, you know, you've got the other ones oftentimes defined by the wars, and ours more so by the technology.
I feel like the guys who don't get the tech stuff is like the generation pre that still though.
Before boomers, are you the silent generation as boomers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I mean, boomers, it also depends a little bit on what they do for a living and stuff.
The very old end of the boomers definitely too. That is correct. But for example, I know my dad. He was born in '63, which is just about boomer.
Yeah,
and he's a tech guy because he was like decently young enough to care about it when like computers came out, like the whatever '80s, '90s and stuff.
It's interesting because my parents not so much, and they're slightly younger.
Yeah.
Also, only slightly. They're just about Gen X.
Yeah, personal
like
preference,
65 and 66, so just in there.
That's just personal interest, I suppose.
Yeah. You did not give a fact, did you?
My fact of the week is that the Mandarin word for penguin literally translates to. I'm gonna let you drink first, so you don't spit it out.
You didn't want to have me take a spit take, okay?
Business goose.
Yes.
The Mandarin words for business and goose used to describe a penguin in Mandarin. There's my fact of the week. That's all we had to say. But we have a halftime show.
That sounds like someone who doesn't speak the language, but is just trying to make it work, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know how sometimes people will just put two words together to try to describe something because they don't know the term for it.
Penguins look vague, like they're wearing a suit, like they're dressed up or something.
I mean, I get it. It's just funny, though.
Yeah, dude, business geese. There we go. That's what it is.
It's probably only weird to, like, native Mandarin speakers.
No.
Like, yeah, this is what they call it.
We could probably, if we dug deep, we could probably find something like that in English or German or whatever.
I mean, definitely German.
Because that happens a lot. So
Germans love their compound words, so there's a lot of those.
Exactly.
So English less so, but it's still gonna happen.
English is a very efficient language. I like it.
Because English has a lot of short words, so it doesn't happen as much.
We got a halftime show.
Yeah, after educating you with facts and educating you with quiz, we're educating you with more quiz.
There is still no sheet of paper in the back behind us on the wall. That means there is still a streak of 0 crossword wins. That is something that can't happen. We can't be having that. We need W's and we need them fast. So today a streak will start, and next week we'll be sitting there with a piece of paper.
Alex has a question for you.
What?
Do you know any famous Daves?
Do I know any famous Daves? Probably if I thought about it a little bit. Let's see. Who's famous goes by the name of Dave? Is this cheating if we do it before? No, it's...
I guess Dave Grohl?
Dave Grohl, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I could come up with. The drummer / singer / guitarist. Yes.
There's some athletes.
The drummer from Nirvana.
There's some athletes.
Okay, let's see if we know any Daves.
Who we got?
Which was kind of my point, right? I wasn't actually trying to...
Famous Dave.
They got him.
Oh, nice, dude.
Nirvana drummer. I mean, Foo Fighters front.
Yeah, same dude.
I mean, listen. Do we do the Daves first?
Yeah, try Daves first.
Thrash is Into Me singer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it Matthews?
Dave Matthews?
Because he had a band. Matthews, is that how you spell it?
Well, 2 T's, I guess.
Oh. Because I've heard of that Dave Matthews band.
Easy.
I didn't know he sang. I have never heard of that song.
See, we got these.
WWE Wrestler and Guardians of the Galaxy star Dave Bautista.
Dude, we know famous Daves. You see that? We know all these Daves.
MLB Hall of Fame outfielder.
Ooh, oh, which one is it? There's many of them. Christ.
He's in the Hall of Fame and he's an outfielder.
Yeah. That's
in the Major League of Baseball. Robinson.
No.
It fits.
Yeah. We'll get there. Get some clues.
NBA Hall of Fame center David.
Oh, this is David. No, does this Robinson fit?
Yes.
There we go.
You think it was an outfielder? Do you not know anything about baseball?
This is basketball.
Oh wait, what? Oh,
that's another Dave Robinson.
Bones star David is Borean. Something like that. Fucking hell. What is his name spelled like?
What's Bones?
It's a TV show based on a book series.
Oh, yes.
What is his name? He's also the
You'll get there.
The actor who plays the titular character of Angel. Co-founder of Megadeth.
Yeah.
Dave.
Hi.
SNL album and comedian David. Blank.
Crap. Let's do non-Daves for a bit.
Skin soother.
Boom.
Suffix meaning vision. Gather. Collect.
Yeah. No.
Explosive.
Bomb.
Maternity brand. Blank in the pod. 2 words. Jesus Christ. 2 words? In blank of flowers.
Liu.
That means that's French. It means place.
Oh, yeah.
Suffix meaning vision is opia,
Yeah, there we go.
and gather is
Moot?
yeah, gathering.
Yeah.
Fuels up.
Gases.
That could mean something else. In need of paving.
Ruddy.
T.
Tea.
Czech River.
Right.
Volga. No, that's a different one.
I mean the Volga, and that's...
Oh, yeah, I do mean the Volga.
Such
I have heard of a river.
true.
Mr. in Helsinki.
HPA.
What one might receive at a gentleman's club. 2 words. Tony Award-winning actress blank MacDonald.
It's gotta be Audrey, right? Like, how many names start with that?
What? Audrey with a...
Oh, I don't
Like
know.
that?
Oh, yeah, I don't know names that start with A-U. Austin?
Fastener.
Strap. Yeah.
What is the Mr. then? H blank A?
I don't know. We can force it.
What is what one might receive in gentleman's
What's
club?
the other
And
one again?
then Czech River.
We're idiots. We're such dumb fucks. It's unbelievable.
24-hour cash sources.
ATMs.
GM cars of the 1990s. That is General Motors.
Yeah, I know what General Motors is.
Play parts are acts.
Yeah.
Tableware.
Dishes.
Actually, there's also a part about there's Saskatchewan Hamlet. Hamlet is a small village.
I know what.
Saskatchewan is a Canadian province.
Oh my god, I don't know.
PC link ups.
Like lambs.
That
Len.
I pressed ever so. Yeah,
I'll get to him.
How about we do some down ones?
How about it?
Cotton fabric.
Cotton though?
I don't think so. That's also apparently
one N only.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so. But it's not that, no.
I mean, that's the only fabric. By the way, what one might receive at Gentleman's Club, we got more for it, still 2 words though. And I would guess that it's something I think it's because lap dance. Oh, Gentleman's was more.
Oh, that was ironic. Yeah, that was very ironic.
They were talking about a strip club.
Yeah.
I now see. By the way, the actress's name ends in an A. Just as a side note. The MLB outfielder's 3rd letter is an N. It doesn't help you. Dance, music.
Dance? Because there's a genre that's called... Okay.
That would have been too on the nose, I
True.
think. Is it like techno? No, it doesn't fit. Electro doesn't fit. Inch along. Like crawl.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, I think. Wine vintage.
That's you.
How about we go through these?
Yeah.
Resources. Unstressed vowel sound.
Damn it, what are they asking for? Jesus.
Soho cries of surprise. What does it have to do with Soho? One blank time, 2 words. One at a
time. Yes.
Leaves blank causes permanent damage.
A scar. A scar?
Oh, a scar.
That's the only one that fits, right? Yeah.
They didn't say 2 words. Prefix for phobia, that means dark. Like nocto, like night? That was just a guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what that actually is called. Any plain or mixed drink containing alcohol. Plain or mixed drink containing...
With ab at the end.
Yeah. Smidgen. Is it iota?
Iota.
I like that word.
Uh-huh.
Iota, not smidgen. No, though smidgen is fine too.
I like smidgen better.
Resources.
Assets.
Unstressed vowel sound. Starts with an S. Soho cries of surprise starts with a C. Prefix for phobia, that means dark, starts with an S. And any plain mix that's also starts with an S, the drink.
You not know this? God damn.
I don't know this. Why would I necessarily?
Because you drink?
If I had $1 million, I think is what that is.
Well, I wish.
If I wish I had $1 million, I wish I.
Yeah. Easy.
I feel like those are getting weirder and weirder. Website for techies.
CNET?
Postpones.
Suspends?
Piece of turf.
Floor? No. No way.
Floor.
That doesn't even necessitate turf at all.
Expand.
Widen.
You're always really good at coming up with the really dumb synonyms. Cotton fabric. The outfielders last time starts with W. It's probably something wind.
Winfield? Is that him?
What a fitting name.
He's in the hall. Yes.
Dance music. We now have an extra letter for inch along. We have most of the letters, like every other one.
Yeah.
Wine vintage is we have some letters for, and cried is wept. I guess let's do this quadrant then. Put down.
Set.
I was gonna say kill, but sure. You know, as in like
Ice.
Put a pet down. Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Boba.
Like fat is Boba or Django. Django would also work, but it wouldn't fit, right? No. Django. No. Wished. Hoped.
Really?
Male fallow deer. Suffix with Congo.
Lease. Like Congolese.
Like what?
Lese. That's what the people from the Congo are called. The Congolese.
I
They're
did not know that. Wed in secret.
Nope.
Classify.
Label.
Twosomes.
Dyads? Probably a Y.
Ah, yes. Male fallow deer ends in L's, which is not that surprising. The Bone Star David, well, it's Borean, something like that. Freaking hell, is it like...
Well, if the R is correct, you can leave it for sure, if you know that.
I'm pretty sure it is. It's something
Be
like...
TS at the end?
Borean...
But yeah, just leave the R.
It's something like that. We still have the Megadeth Dave, and there is the male fallow deer, which presumably ends in rolls. Something like... We have the Coffin of Megadeth. We have Metal Fastener.
Nail. Could be bold.
Seemingly Forever. Region. Area.
Land.
Ultimatum Ender. Is it a plea? No, that seemed far-fetched.
Yeah.
Blank Fay, Chinese bandits.
Yeah.
Othello, villain.
No.
Well, yeah. Party giver is a host. And then we have this down one, which is bagel choice.
Sesame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there was Sorrels there, and there was less. Right, we said that. Governor of Megadeth has a in his name, which helps us a lot.
I don't know that guy.
Actress Volt.
What fits in there? Nadia. With a J, maybe.
Wait,
With a Y, maybe.
I was about to say, like, Jean's material is denim, and SNL album comedian David starts with an S. Dismayed onomatopoeia. What is it? Onomatopoeia? That's onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia, I think.
Is that the thing for sound words? Is that what they're called?
Sure.
2012 Madonna album. I mean, it released an album in 2012? That's pretty recent.
Jesus Christ, stop already.
Gruesome. I repeat, gruesome. I don't know. Actress and stud. Set Fire 2.
Ignite.
Cockney Cottages.
More cottages? Jesus.
Partner of Crosby and Stills.
Jeez, man.
Against, my dude. College in Westchester, New York.
I should know this one. Fuck. I don't know.
Starts with an I.
Yeah, I know that.
Government agent.
G-Man.
Yes. Bird's home is a nest,
Mm-hmm.
which means that Cockney Cottages end in miss.
Mm-hmm.
Partner of Crosby
Nash.
Stills is Nash. Yeah, that makes sense. And anti is against.
Yeah.
Which means that the college is something non.
We can
Something non.
force this in if you want to. Let's keep it for the end if we have time.
Well, I think we did all of the quadrants. Breaks of phobia meaning dark. Any plain or mixed drink containing alcohol.
We'd have to start forcing letters now. Like, seeing the top.
Unstressed vowel sound. So cries of surprise.
Just start somewhere. Just in the top middle.
Is it? No.
Try that.
We tried TS.
We try TZ too.
Did we? Okay.
Just start first.
What is this? Tennis legend Andre. Wait, did we ever look at those?
This one, no.
Kind of support.
Tech support?
Tiny bit.
Moat.
Leaky tire sound. It's just S's. Bah!
That
I hate this!
was good, dude.
GM cars of 1990s. And
Just start forcing, dude.
tennis
Let's go.
legend Andre. What is the name?
I don't know. Start dropping letters. We have a lot of ones where we just drop letters and we make progress from that. A lot of single letter ones, which tells me there's also a lot of obscure words. Okay.
It's Agassi.
On the left to that, there's also two more.
Oh, right
Under
there,
roll,
yeah.
just go.
I hate how the
Separate.
first one always is
Yeah.
more difficult. That's an R. Okay, I don't know.
That actually does work pretty well.
That is definitely how you're supposed to solve crossword puzzles. Audra and
go.
the river's Odra.
Easy.
Naturally.
Easy. This one.
Data is info.
Yes,
Apparently we hadn't seen that. Cotton fabric, and the other one we did look at, dance music, is disco.
Hey, disco. Big get in there.
Inch long.
Slide. Oh, dude. Doesn't fit at all. What am I saying?
Sldy.
Slide.
Piece of turf then starts with a D. And also because of disco, we know that cotton fabric starts with Liss.
God damn it. There's two missing everywhere. That is bad.
Piece of turf, and we have wine vintage is this, and then we have
bad.
that 2x2 square over there,
Mm.
and we also have
The bottom left one you could force in.
yes, college in Iona and Omez.
There we go.
I think all the other ones need at least 2 letters.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you by any chance know the co-founder of Megadeth?
No, I don't know the co-founder of Megadeth.
Likely someone's name. Seemingly forever. Eternal. Region is not area, which surprised me a little bit. Well, yeah. Othello villain. Blank face, like Ming or Ping or something. That sounds very...
Ling.
That sounds very
Yeah.
stereotypically...
Ling.
Oh, Ling would also maybe...
Just put ing and then force letters.
I doubt that is how that works, but sure.
That would be cool, though.
I also may or may not have started in the wrong spot for forcing letters, but...
Yeah, no.
Would it not have been something?
Yeah, that would be it. Just ping pong.
Ultimatum Ender. Like, I feel like if you give in, that would be end an ultimatum, but I don't know what exactly they're... Seemingly forever against region, and then the... Actress. Dismayed owner here. Meh? What would be a sound that you make if you're dismayed? Re?
That's not dismay.
No. 2012 Madonna album. Gruesome. The dude, the actress, and that's an album comedian, David.
Is lurie a word for gruesome? Like lurie? Lurie? No.
Larry.
No.
Larry. That's just a dude. Larry.
Small dog. No.
Ah, yes.
No. We're fucked. We're done. Once again. Stuck. Wrecked.
What would be like a Latin or maybe even Greek way to say dark?
Sinister. Jesus, what, man? I don't know. This is so bullshit. I started to hate these. Like, we did well, and then all of a sudden we didn't anymore. What happened? Why have we gotten dumber?
Piece of turf. Does it mean like a place, or does it mean like literally like a bit of earth?
I would assume literally like a bit of...
What is the fabric? Seems like a thing you would know.
Is Lyle, is that one? L-E at the end?
Yes. Which means that the inch long is to... That's probably a vowel, isn't it?
Saddle.
13, that's not even what I want to. Saddle.
Okay.
And then... Piece of turf is...
Force of them.
It's not a what? Which is very disappointing and surprising to me.
Dugout either.
Did I actually try the P? I did not try the P, did I? Nope.
That was probably.
Divot!
Divot, goddamn. Jesus.
That's probably all we're gonna get.
Shit.
Boreanaz, that's what it was. I knew it was something like that.
Scotophobia.
Scotophobia.
Trap.
Wow. It says vowel sound. Horse for the try to suppress. Shrab for the. Madonna album was called. Oh, MDNA is in like Madonna, but with some of the vowels taken out. It's weird.
Iago as the Othello villain.
Eep is the onomatopoeia, and gruesome is lurid, which you were kind of close.
Yeah.
Again, the name I got slightly off.
Yeah.
I knew roughly what it was because.
That could have helped, man, with the ages and the zone. Could have helped.
Oh yes.
And Nianfei.
Oh, seemingly forever ages. That makes a lot of sense.
Man.
Nianfei. I never heard of those. Ultimate Ender is else. Or else.
Dude, we needed like one word in that block, and it would have been like the House of Cards, man. Everything comes together.
Mustaine is the dude from Megadeth.
Damn. And
Spade is the comedian.
I know that. I've heard of him actually.
Nedra is the actress.
That's.
Yikes.
Dude, JJ, you know what? We're dumbasses, man.
We are dumbasses.
We are legit just dumbasses. I can't wrap my mind around how we can't get this thing done. All right, you know what?
88% average score 74%. If we're dumbasses, so is everyone else.
We're gonna call in Sergey, and we're going to hop into the second topic because I'm done with this stuff. Let's do that. As promised, we now have Sergey in the house. Sergey, say hello.
Hello.
To the people, yes. A nice smile and wave. Okay, we brought you in here for the discussion of the second topic. Now, we haven't announced previously what the second topic was going to be. We announced it was going to be an interesting one, and you were kind of the one to figure it out originally. So I'm going to let you introduce what we're doing here.
So yeah,
tell the story.
Do you remember last topic of the podcast, we talked about how Alex does not like things that are not really visual.
That was last week. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, right after the podcast, we discussed it a bit more, and I figured out that Alex might have aphantasia.
Which is a condition by which someone is unable to visualize things in their head.
Yes,
and
that is correct.
That was the day that I learned that people can visualize things in their head. And it blew my mind. And I still don't understand most of it. But yes, the second topic is going to be aphantasia because it's something that I evidently have. And it ties into that discussion because you said, like, we talked about how I can't play Dungeons and Dragons, for example, because it's essentially a game that happens in your brain, or you have to imagine the imagery or most of the imagery that happens. Same as reading a book. I can't read books because it's
because you can't read, right?
I can read.
The old joke.
I can read a little bit. I cannot, however, read books for entertainment because it bores me to high hell. I can't focus on it for more than like a single page. So what I do is I listen to audiobooks and I do work or play video games at the side because that way I have visual stimulus. And you kind of put the puzzle pieces together there and you said, have you heard of that? Do you have this condition? And I have never heard of it before, but it totally makes sense. And so for anyone listening to this who is able to just visualize images in their head, it's tough to imagine how it works for me, but I can promise that for me it is 10 times more weird to imagine how it works for anyone else, no matter how weird it is for you guys. So we've had this discussion off air a little bit, but there's still, of course, a lot of unanswered questions.
Quite a lot, actually.
Yes.
Like the last week was full of questions.
They're still there. And I've talked.
He has questions, okay?
Yeah, I've talked to like a bunch of people about this, and they've all given me like the same responses. Like, yeah, we can see things in our head. You can do it. I'm sure you can do it. I got this one. That was a good one. Yeah, I'm sure you can do it too. Just try it. That was one that I got. I was like, no. Not how that works. So, we have to approach this.
People with aphantasia just don't try hard enough.
Yes. So we have to approach this with the idea that. Of course, this topic that the average person can do it, which is a very strange way for me to like approach the topic. Obviously, so you kind of have to explain it from your side a little bit because I'm on the outside of that whole discussion. But I guess that's how we have to go on to it. So, as good as I can explain it, I can't see images in my head, whereas it's normal for people apparently to be able to see images in your head. Like, for example, you brought the Apple thing up.
Yes.
That's one of the tests, right? What was it? Like, can you explain how it worked again?
So yeah, you'd basically just try to create an image of an apple in your head without seeing it. Like, close your eyes, imagine an apple. Mm-hmm. What color is it? What details are there? Does it have, like, this stereotypical green leaf on top of it? Does it not? Like, can you rotate it? All that kind of stuff.
Like all in your head, like without there being an apple actually there. So you have to like close your eyes and do it in your brain. And that's something that's unimaginable to me. That's not possible for a human to do in their mind because there's not an apple there. So if I close my eyes, it's black, right? There's blackness. Now I can describe an apple even though without there being one, and this is why. And I've studied up on this a bit, and I've read up on this. A lot of people who have this condition never notice it. Because it's really purely subjective perception, which is kind of tough for me to fathom, because I feel like if I could, like, see stuff in my head, that would be a superpower, that would be noticeable. Or at least I would have had to be able to notice somehow that other people can do this. But that never really happened.
Yeah, the thing is, when someone says picture this, and you can't, you just imagine it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like counting sheep too. People count sheep, but what is that? Like, you can't really count sheep. There's no sheep. It's dark. Or you're just sitting there like 1 sheep, 2 sheep.
I mean, I've done that.
3 sheep, but
it doesn't work that well.
But you see sheep, like you can.
Not really.
What do you mean not really? You can see sheep?
You can, but why bother?
Then you're just counting.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know.
And I don't do that. Because it's, for me at least, it doesn't work.
I don't either. It's
trying to fall asleep by counting. How to count past infinity.
Yeah. I think it's like a supposed to be like a boring, monotonous task that is supposed to like bore you and tire you or something.
Yes.
Like that's supposed to get kids to go to sleep. But yeah, I've looked at all that stuff. That's a metaphor, right? Picture this. What do you mean picture this? I mean, think about it, right? That's what you mean. I've used the word visualize before. I've used it all my life, completely normally. I just never knew that there's a literal meaning to it. And yeah, so that's my exposition on the whole thing. It's a relatively new condition in that sense. It was only, I think, coined in 2015.
The term was coined in 2015. I think the idea that some people are better and worse at it originates from the 70s, I think it was.
Yeah, it's a spectrum.
Or something, but yeah. Definitely some people are better than others. I think, I have read somewhere, I believe, that there is, some people think differently as well, where it's like, you're kind of the first way you think, for all three of us, as we've discussed, is more abstract.
Yeah.
Mm.
Some people kind of intuitively think in words rather than in just abstract thoughts, so it's kind of like an inner monologue. And other people instantly think in images before they and like visual sequences before they think about other stuff. And so, of course, as someone who primarily thinks abstract at first, the visualization isn't as important or as refined for me either, for example. Right. But I can definitely do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
And there was this test also that we found on Reddit, the one where you're supposed to imagine the table.
Yeah. That.
You know what? Let's reiterate that. Let's reiterate that with the audience so they know what happens, right?
Okay. Yes.
So, JJ, do you want to narrate it or sorry?
I can do it. So imagine a ball sitting on a table.
Yeah.
And now imagine there comes a man and he pushes the ball.
I think it was just a person.
It was just a person.
It was one of the questions later on.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure.
What was the gender of the man? So yeah, now
He pushes the ball.
he pushes the ball. What happens to the ball?
It falls on the floor. That was my answer, like it falls on the floor.
What is the color of the ball?
And then my answer would be like green.
What did the tabletop look like?
Like flat and wooden.
What did the man look like?
Like just a normal, I guess, normal dude, like Sergey. He looked like Sergey. Exactly like Sergey.
Did you have to think about the answers, or did you know them before I asked you the question?
And I had to think about them. So, and apparently, if people who can visualize, that you tell them think of a ball, and they think of a ball with a specific color already.
If
like
you
just intuitively.
If you visualize a ball, you can't visualize an abstract ball. You have to visualize kind of a specific ball in a way. I mean, it can be generic, but it's still one ball.
You add in details that were never mentioned.
Exactly.
So, like, if the people you think of a ball, you would like have a picture of a ball in your head, and it would have a shape and a color and everything. And to me, it's just the word ball. And then I would have to, if I have to like give it a specific color and shape, I would have to be asked about it and then think about it, like this and this. But there's no image in my head, and I can't produce one. And that's really just the point of the whole thing. And I don't understand how it works. But basically, the discussion with Sergey went like, how do you do it if you can't see it? And then you said like, well, you've seen it before?
Kind of. It's like a combination of things you've already seen, and you just apply them in a different way. Like just imagining, for example, an elephant with the head of a cat. You've seen both.
I've brought this one up.
Yes, you brought this one up. But like, you've seen an elephant. You've seen a cat.
Yeah.
So,
but I haven't seen an elephant with the head of a cat. This is the one thing I mentioned is, like, I'm getting to understand it after talking about this to several people quite intensively. I'm getting to somewhat understand how it works. But, like, the one thing I can't wrap my mind around is how you can see or imagine something that you haven't seen. Like, you can imagine the head of a cat on the body of a cow. That is pure insanity to me. I have no I have absolutely no point of reference on how you would do that, because that doesn't exist in real life. You haven't seen it.
I mean, theoretically,
Yeah.
and I know you can do it well, but you could draw it.
I could draw it, yeah.
I mean, it would look like shit because you can't really draw, of course.
I can't
but
draw, yeah. That's
theoretically,
the other thing, right? This is by the way, the explanation why I'm terrible at drawing.
no, it's not. I'm
Yeah,
terrible at it
really.
too.
But like, I can't visualize anything.
But there, you could use a reference. We've talked about this before.
Like
Yes.
drawing from thought, right?
But still, even if you had a reference, like a photo of something you
Yeah.
want to draw.
I could definitely draw it better than if I didn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have that in your head, so you should be able to draw better than me without it.
It's really not that detailed.
I don't know.
Not necessarily. For some people it is. There's
Yes.
also Hyperphantasia, where you're really good at it,
Yeah.
which I feel like is a lot harder to diagnose than Aphantasia, because it's like, for Aphantasia, either you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
For like Hyperphantasia, it's like you're either
Yeah.
pretty good at it and not Hyperphantasia,
Or
or you're
really good.
really good at it and you are.
I don't understand how there's a difference between normal and hyper, because like,
Exactly,
you,
right?
you can see
It's scale.
yeah, you have an image in your brain, right? Like, how can you have more of an image in
I mean, you've seen the graphs, right? When the other tests where it's like, imagine an apple and they have like the 6 different pictures, 5 different pictures
Oh,
of apples
yeah.
and like
Yeah, yeah.
one that's just a blank image.
Mhm.
Maybe we throw up one in post, I don't know. Where obviously like the level of detail can vary.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, when you say imagine an apple, do you imagine like an apple how it would have been in a console game like 20 years ago, or do you imagine an apple how you would literally see it right in front of you?
So just for reference, if I imagine an apple, I hear the word apple, and then I think of features that an apple might have, like the shape and the color of what an apple is from experience, but I cannot see it. I can't visualize it. And this is also the true of faces, obviously, which is a question that a couple people asked me. Like, I don't know what anyone looks like unless I look at them, right? All I know is like I can remember like features like data, right? Like this person has this hair color and this eye color and this hairstyle, and they have a beard or not. But I can't imagine the face of anyone in my head if I'm not looking at them, right? For you guys right now, I can't, because I can see Sergey's face. If I close my eyes, I don't know what Sergey looks like, other than, you know, the features the objective features that I can describe.
I mean, technically, all of the features of his appearance are objective, but yes, I get what
You
you're
can't see
saying.
the image.
Yeah.
Because I thought about it and I can.
You can't. You can close your eyes and you see Sergey.
Yes.
That's terrifying. that is not a pretty thought. Maybe I'm better off this way. I don't know. Closing your eyes and you can't escape. You cannot escape the Russians.
I mean, that's something that people have said before. It's like, you know, the whole you can't unsee this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
And that's what made me wonder,
Yeah.
like, would I be immune to PTSD in a way?
no.
Not really.
You would probably be somewhat more resistant to it because certain components of it wouldn't exactly affect you. Like, obviously, you're not going to have visual flashbacks, but you could still remember the situation.
I could remember this situation, but for example, whenever there's an example of PTSD in media, it's like this soldier who's like all the scenes of bloodshed and destruction and fucking death.
Well, yes. How are you supposed to?
In the visual medium, you have to show it visually.
Yes, you have to.
Also, especially like the whole like being jumpy around, like explosion sounds, for example, right? It's like
Yeah.
you could have that, you know, because it's not in your head, right? It's an actual real sound that you're just reacting to because your brain has a reference, like, oh, that is a thing that I've experienced before and it wasn't good that time.
Yep.
The last time I was near explosions, it wasn't good.
But yes, we have talked off camera about you being or not being able to imagine sounds.
Sound, and that was really one of the breakthroughs on you explaining to me how the condition works, because what I can do is hear like have songs in my head, like sound, right? Like if I think of a song, just any like, you know, catchy good old song, I can vaguely imagine it in my head. I can actually like, you know, this is what it sounds like, and like there's a bit of rhythm there. And you told me that same thing works with images.
Yes.
But that metaphor, that analogy stops working at the chimera, a point where I can't hear a song in my head that doesn't exist, right? I can't or a combination of two things that don't exist. I brought this up to JJ yesterday, but I can't hear John Fogerty singing a Sabaton song, I can't hear Eminem singing opera in my head. Because that just doesn't occur. It doesn't happen. And that's why I don't understand how you can see a cow with the head of a cat.
That's the thing, right? I think for sound it's also more difficult for me because I feel like you have to do more modulation, right? It's like for like the cat head on the cow body, you just literally just take your cat head, scale it up, put it on the cow.
Yeah, basically what you would do in Photoshop.
Okay, but you just take the sound of opera and you put it coming from the mouth of Eminem.
But what you described is also, for me at least, really tough to do. But what for me is kind of easy, what also other people have described, if you read a text message from someone, like people usually, when they read this message out in their head, it is usually read by the voice of that person.
I don't do that.
The message is coming
I don't do that either.
I don't do that.
Me neither, because I don't really narrate what I read in my head. But a lot of people have described this. And
Even if I am reading it, mentally, I would probably still hear it in my own voice, if anything. Because it's kind of like reading out loud,
I'm reading
not out loud. Though I'm also generally not great at the whole inner monologue. Some of you have pointed out before, my inner monologues tend to not be very inner.
No, you talk. Like, you narrate your life to yourself. You'll be in a room by yourself, speaking.
Yes. It is easier for me to focus thoughts into language out loud than it is in my brain. It's not that it's impossible for me to do that, but it's also not that easy. Because, again, my default mode of thinking is very abstract.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, can we have, like, the Wikipedia article for Aphantasia in the description, like, linked?
Sure.
Just so, like, people, if someone's interested, they can go look it up. Maybe
even info card.
You know what would be really cool?
No, I don't think we can do that.
No?
Info cards are very specific about what websites you can and can't link to, which is it's a whitelist based.
Okay.
I didn't know if Wiki is on there.
Yeah.
We can't even link to our Discord.
It's a bit shitty. Link in the description, though, to our Discord if everyone join, you feel me? But, yeah, we should link that. What would be really cool is if we found someone in our viewer base who also had this. And who didn't know it.
Does anyone right offhand know the percentage of people?
2%.
2%.
Roughly 2% of people have this. The Aphantasia.
That's a lot. I mean, we have over 100 people in our Discord server. We have over 2,000 people, damn near 3,000 sub to our channel.
People of those 2%, how many know about it?
Also, how many watch the podcast, right?
That is true.
No, but even just of the 2% of, like, the people who have it, how many know it? So that's really the number we have to calculate with, right? So...
I don't know. The question is, how do they establish how many... I guess they just take random people and they test them. Because, like, how do you establish those 2% without the people knowing, right?
It has to be from test groups, yeah.
Yep.
The people that have done the test. But, yeah, that one thing. Stuff that you haven't seen before and you can see it in your head. That is no.
Also, depending on what object it is, it kind of also works not really as Photoshop, but also more like a 3D modeling software.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you brought that up.
The old Blender.
3D modeling in your head. That's how you originally compared it to.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of understood what you meant by visualizing, like actually seeing it versus just...
Yeah, you have the preview. Slowly turning for no reason.
That is...
or not. I mean, it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Not graspable. It's been a week now since I think we figured this out since last podcast. And I still really... It's still, like, surreal, and I don't grasp it, obviously. But I've talked to some people about it, but... I at least I'm starting to believe that it's true. Like, that's because at first I didn't. Like, I mean, like, how am I supposed to, right? It's like if it's like a sixth sense. It's like, Sergey, if I told you all of a sudden, like, hey, everyone but you has a sixth sense. And it's like I don't even know how to describe.
There's more than 6 senses, but yeah, that's
okay. Like, whatever, right? Has an extra sense that
I get the saying. It's just
you've never heard of, and everyone can do this, and it's very abstract to describe, but you can do it. And you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense because it's like so weird to describe. It's like a lot like describing color to a blind person is like seeing images in your brain describing that to me. Right? And but there's this interesting...
I feel like there's better analogs, though, for this than to literally describing color to a blind person, because that's a bit of an extreme case.
I guess.
Because they don't really... I guess you would... I guess you could... The problem is you'd have to somehow convey the concept of vision at first.
Yeah.
Because color is kind of the visual equivalent of pitch is for sound.
Describing
It's not a direct equivalence, but I think that would be.
describing
Multiple pitches can combine as
describing a sense to a person that doesn't experience that sense.
But just explaining vision in the first place.
There's this interesting story though for you, Sergey, and you brought this up last week. You had this.
That is correct.
And then you got rid of it. Want to explain how that happened?
So yeah. Actually, funny thing, as Alex already said, I had this for the majority of me being alive.
So far.
So far, yes.
Hopefully not for the majority of your entire life.
Hopefully not.
That'd suck.
Yeah. And one evening, while I was falling asleep, like in this half-sleep kind of state of mind, this transition phase, where you're kind of asleep, but kind of not.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I got a really, really high-res picture in my head that I hadn't seen before. Was so high-res, I could look kilometers far and still make out small details.
You had a vision, man.
Yes.
You gotta find that place.
Would you describe it as a hallucination?
Technically, maybe? I don't know.
The thing is, when you're like half asleep, like they're like reality and mind space meant.
Yeah, maybe you were already like in a dream.
Probably.
Maybe it was a dream.
Like I think that has something to do with me being half asleep.
Yeah.
And I also immediately got a real headache. Like it was bad. Couldn't sleep, do nothing, just take ibuprofen.
Okay.
It was bad. But yeah, after that I was able to imagine things. and I also kind of didn't notice somehow.
It's obviously not about imagination as much as it's about visualization.
Yes.
I'm just saying it because I feel like the language here matters a lot.
Yeah.
Because we said it before.
I can imagine, like, for the record, I can imagine stuff.
Yeah. And that's why it's hard to explain, of course, because we had that exact thing with Alex, where it's like, he's like, of course I can imagine things in my head. It's like, yeah.
It took a while until they actually conveyed to me what they meant by it. Like, that they're actually, like, unironically really, really seeing it physically, like, seeing.
Yep. So yeah, I kind of didn't notice that at first. It felt so natural, as if it was already, like, always there. As if I always was able to do that. And only way later I found out about Aphantasia and noticed that, dang, I had this.
See, but knowing you, it could have also been that you were, in fact, always able to do it and you just never did.
Just chose not to.
It seems like a very Sergey thing to do, I don't know.
Because you told me it is an active process, right? Like, you choose to do it.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I mean, it can happen involuntarily, and
like quick, don't imagine an iceberg.
Okay.
don't think about cats. Yeah,
I can think of one because obviously you mentioned it, right? So, but like, I can describe to you what it looks like. It's white, probably. Like, it's a bear and it's white.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah. So, polar bears aside, of course, it's not going to necessarily happen that you just. As much, I think, that you just randomly, like, an image pops into your head. Though I suppose it shouldn't be impossible for that to happen, since a song could pop into your head without any reason.
Mm-hmm.
But
though it doesn't stay, that's another thing. Just keep going.
You can easily be prompted into visualizing something, even if you don't actively try to necessarily.
So this is something that actually came up when I was discussing this with Smokey, which you can tell I was discussing this with a lot of different people, and like all the conversations kind of add new information to it. So the song stuck in the head thing, right?
Yeah,
that can happen, but I can make it go away whenever I want to.
Most people can't, and a lot of people will be happy if they could.
Like it's completely an active thing. Like, if I have a song stuck in my head, it's because I want to. It's like, yeah, it's a good song. I'm gonna go jam in a bit, right?
I don't think that would technically qualify as stuck, because the whole point is you can't get out.
Yeah.
I can definitely replace it.
Okay.
Like, I can, if I have a song stuck in my head, I can think of a different song if it's catchy enough, and I think about it actively long enough that could override the previous one, but it'll probably still be stuck there for a while.
Is there something like such as catchiness with visualization? Like that you have an image stuck in your head. Is that a thing?
I've never had it happen.
I didn't have it happen to me, but I've heard about some pictures, something like optical illusions kind of stuff,
Okay.
that just burns into your eyes, kind of, and you just see it for weeks.
Oh.
The only thing
I've heard about it.
the kind of similar
Never
thing
experienced.
I should try
I can
that.
think of is when you rub your eyes too hard, and you've got like artifacts in your vision, but it's like literally a physiological
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that. That happens to me.
and like those
Like,
can get stuck there for like minutes.
Eye floaters, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that's not.
You know what?
a
Those
mental
like
thing.
optical illusions, send me one of those.
I have never seen
Maybe
one.
you can find one. Maybe I could cure that shit, you know? By like forcing myself to see something. Maybe I need to go to war. Like maybe I need to go to war and see like an entire city being torn apart.
All of a sudden, your condition is not an answer to PTSD anymore. PTSD is the answer to your condition.
Yes, like big ass destruction, like this, like buildings coming down, everything, and then I get PTSD and I visualize it, and then my aphantasia is
Yeah, that's probably not worth it.
No.
And now I just have terrible PTSD.
That does not seem like a good idea.
So yeah, what about you just perpetually being in this transitional state of sleeping and being awake?
Like French.
Yes, till you imagine something.
That's not something you can actively do, can you? Like in that state.
There's probably drugs for it.
There's probably drugs.
Probably.
Yeah, hallucinogenics is something I would definitely be interested in. Like,
That is a quote.
No, like, no, but you know what I mean. Like, I mean this in like the scientific way, right? Because I don't do drugs typically. I don't care about drugs. But I wonder if I can hallucinate.
I mean, we said you can dream,
I should dream.
which, by the way,
Sure.
about half of
Pretty much.
people with aphantasia can dream.
Pretty much exactly half
Mhm.
can dream visually, and I do. So I would be interested to know if I could hallucinate while awake. That would be
I
something
think
to find out.
hallucination is closer to dreaming than visualization,
Okay.
just like
Because it's-
intentional.
Because it's involuntary.
Yes. And I believe it also literally comes from your subconscious on some level.
Okay.
So I believe, I mean, it probably depends on the exact hallucinogenic,
Yeah.
but I think generally that would be closer to dreaming, so I think you would probably be able to do it. Another question would be if someone who cannot or does not dream and has aphantasia
Yeah.
would be able to hallucinate. That is a question that I think would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't actively searched for it, but,
Yeah. I have never hallucinated as far as I'm aware. Which means that if I did, it's very...
You're actually sitting in this room alone right now.
Yeah. It's two guys that don't even exist. But somehow they get caught on the audio, though.
No, it's just like the audience, like the editing, like it's all just in your head.
Everything. Like when I go home...
You're actually currently in a mental
I
institution.
go home and I get to work on the video that doesn't even happen. It's all just, yeah.
No, the video is actually recorded, but
Oh, okay. But like, even if I watch back the tape, like the voices I hear is just, they're still in my brain.
Yep.
Okay.
They might not even say the same thing, but it seems that they do when you think about it.
Oh, yes.
But
I guess.
also,
I guess.
can you really trust yourself?
Ooh, I've tried to. But apparently not with my vision or not with my internal vision.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, lack thereof.
but also one other thing.
Yeah.
As you are able to dream, like see pictures while dreaming,
Yeah.
have you tried lucid dreaming?
Yes, and I don't have the goddamn discipline for it. I can't do it. I lose too much sleep, man. I like my life gets impacted when I try it. I can't do it, man.
Dang.
Because I'll wake up and I'm like, okay, let's do this. Can't do it.
Wait, what do you mean? Wake
Because
up?
there's like techniques for it, right? Where you wake up like
Yeah.
at 6 in the morning, or like 5 or 6 in the morning, when your longest REM sleeping phase is. Like you set an alarm clock for that. You wake up and you go back to sleep instantly. And then like you're supposed
I
to
could not do that.
Yes,
supposed
that
to
is a
enter-
technique.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
supposed to
really
enter a
like it.
dream. You're supposed to enter a dream right when you fall asleep. And that way, you're supposed to like keep snapping a finger or something.
If alarm rings, I'm not gonna fall asleep anytime soon.
It's the soft alarm.
So, the technique I like the most is just doing reality checks throughout the day, like constantly.
But you have to keep yourself of that too.
Well, no, you make it a habit, and then
That's tough to do. I've tried to do that. It's tough to do, man.
you just look at the clock periodically.
Yeah, I count my fingers.
Or that, yes, but counting fingers is kind of weird.
Well, yeah, 5
You wouldn't do that normally, but just looking at the clock.
I mean, I do that,
Obviously.
but not with intent of it being a check.
Yes, but then you look away and look back.
Ah, okay. And if it's
And if
completely
it's the
different
same,
time,
yes, and if it's the same time, it's probably real.
yeah,
Like, turns out your dreams are just boring.
it's
Like-
sad. Yeah.
Like, no reality check works. It's just like you're just dreaming basically reality.
It happened before, but whenever I'm in a dream and I realize it, typically I wake up within seconds. Like, I can't sit there, you know.
This
It's
is
like,
bad.
it's like, God damn, dude, this for real.
Yes, you gotta keep down excitement. That is
Yeah,
another
like,
problem.
wait, I'm dreaming. Let's jump off a building. It's like, and because that's the thing, like, yeah, keep down excitement, but the first thing is like, man, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna jump off a building. First thing I'm
I
gonna
don't
do.
think I would do that.
I'm a professional at being like turning down excitement.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Turn
know.
down-
You just go back to sleep.
You can turn down excitement in an entire room. Yeah. Also, dreaming about sleeping is a big one.
Yes.
That tells you how much sleep Sergey gets.
But yeah, I'm maybe I'm too hyped for that. That is true. Whenever I'm like, oh,
I would not jump off a building, dude. That's
Dream-
crazy.
dream awareness, let's go. Like,
Like, if I could figure out how to fly, I might fly off a building. I'm not gonna jump down. That's crazy.
Who gives a shit? You're dreaming.
Dude, it's scary to fall in a dream.
Who cares? But you are aware.
Might be even scary in real life. I've never tried like long distances.
You're aware it is a dream, so you know you can't die. You just like you just feed it, man. Just go.
I don't think that's how survival instincts work.
But you know nothing can happen. It's like in a video game. Like, hey, might as well.
No.
Wait.
Consciously is not the same thing as like turning off your fight or flight response
I feel like it.
and your crippling fears of height. Fear of heights.
Okay, I don't have a fear of height. That's the thing.
Crippling is an exaggeration, but
Yeah.
Could aphantasia be related to me not having any phobias?
probably not.
Don't think so.
Yeah,
It's more of a reaction to a stimulus.
I guess so. Yeah, but it is probably related to me being a very visual person. We've talked about that yesterday, JJ.
Like in you being needing some visual
Yeah,
thing.
all the time for
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
He cares about visuals a lot.
Yeah, visual learner. I care about visuals in video games.
He judges people by how they look, it's the usual.
That's a lie. That's straight up made up, and that's not a fact, and it's not truthful in any way, shape, or form. I don't do that. But yes, I care about visuals. So I'm a visual learner. I learn well from videos more so, of course, much more so than from, for example, books, because I can't make the visuals that go with the books that you're supposed to make. And that's why audiobooks only for me, and then I have visual input at the side. But also something like, I also don't watch movies, for example, right? That's also not enough for me. If I'm watching a show, even if it's just a 20-minute episode, I'm tabbing around and I'm still doing stuff. I'm never just watching anything. I'm mostly listening to it. Even if it's a show or a movie, I'm listening to it and playing or working on the side.
I think that has something to do with you just having to constantly do something instead of it being an aphantasia.
Yeah.
That is a thing for sure. Like
That's a completely separate condition.
Yeah.
I wonder if
You've got the attention span of a Gen Z person, which is not that
True.
surprising since you are a Gen
True.
Z person.
I was wondering though if
That's
it could,
perfect week.
if it could be related, because that I don't know. It feels like it could be. At least like the books and the D&D stuff, that for sure is. I feel like it is.
I don't. When I play D&D, I don't usually visualize things. It's a similar idea with books. I've started doing a little bit more lately, but I don't usually visualize a lot in books either. It's more about the actual story and the progression thereof.
But what do you mean? Yeah, like, but then it's just like it. Then it's just words on paper, right? Like it's just information.
It is information, yes.
And that,
Yes.
like, I wouldn't classify this as entertainment because it's just so slow and non-visual.
Could it just be that you're reading the wrong books?
I mean, no, I'm like I listen.
You just read boring books, is that it?
No, like I listen to the audiobooks and I'm popping off, man. Like I listen to Catch-22 and it's like the best thing ever. I'm laughing, dude. Like this book is phenomenal, dude. And then I read it and I didn't even get through it. I gave it to you for birthday.
Yeah.
I purchased it like 2 months before so I could read it myself because it's my favorite book of all time. The audiobook was like the best thing ever. And then I read it. I don't even get halfway through because I read 2 pages and I'm falling the fuck asleep. And my mind is going elsewhere because I cannot stay focused.
How many pages is that book?
Was 500 or 600, something like that.
It's probably not something to read in one sitting, but you can read that in a day or two if you're really dedicated.
A year or two.
I mean, 2 months should definitely be doable.
Yeah, I got like a couple hundred pages in.
When we were camping, I believe between Sergey and I, we read a combined of about 500 pages in that like 3.5 day trip.
I might have done like twice of that in my life or something. Like as like actual page reading for entertainment. For information, it's different because like if I'm reading like a 10-page essay or something for strictly information, like I'm studying, that's fine because I know what I'm doing it for. It's not pleasant.
Boring as hell.
Well, yeah, but it's information, like you're learning, and it's there's a purpose to it. But it's not It's for entertainment. I can't read for entertainment. That's like entertainment's supposed to be entertaining.
Yes.
And like bam, 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 like fast paced, hard hitting.
Not necessarily.
10 actions per second. That's kind of how I perceive entertainment. Honestly, I don't know. That's what entertainment is to me. Like my entertainment to me has to like.
You've got a worse attention span than a guppy.
Yeah, like dude.
That's a fish.
Sure. Like entertainment to me has to be just really quick hitting. That's always how it's been to me. I can't. And I feel like that's related at least with books because a lot of people who like books, they just, hey, I can imagine it in my head. They turn the words into an image, like basically live, right?
I don't do it that much, and when I do it, it's usually because I've like seen the visuals of an adaptation. Like I already know what it looks like, so now I'm just like recalling it from. It's hard-ish for me to like. For like complicated scenes or like character looks to like get it right based on how they describe it. And then it just gets confusing if I imagine like oh, they enter a room and like 2-3 basic features and like they do something in the room like, wait, that's there? I didn't really, right? And it's like, then my imagination doesn't match with the book anymore and it just gets more confusing. And so I generally
yeah, but even that doesn't
shy
happen.
away a little bit.
What do you mean that's there? Like you're in the story. Like I don't get into a story from reading a book because I can't.
But that's
like
there. I generally don't visualize a lot of stuff in books. It's just the progression of the story, which is also, of course, why long descriptive scenes aren't the greatest aspect of it, but they're still interesting for context.
There isn't a progression of story. It's just data points.
It's no progression of story.
Like, I can't extrapolate one from a book. Like I can't.
Do you also not perceive time?
I can't put it together, man. I cannot turn it into moving pictures to where
it doesn't have to be pictures.
What is that?
It is a succession of events.
Yes.
That you still imagine happening.
Not really.
Not necessarily.
For me, for example, what I usually imagine in books is like cinematic descriptions of places, or just like JJ said, pictures from an adaptation that I've seen.
Yeah.
And that is usually it. I don't really imagine all of it.
But it's still there, though. You can always go there.
But here's the thing, right? If I told you a story, you'd be able to follow that, right? And it would be something where something happened. So how is reading a book any different than me telling you a story?
Because it's auditory input, right? For one, I guess. But I also can handle audiobooks better than reading the physical book, even if I weren't doing something. I can listen to an audiobook for 15 minutes without doing anything at the side. I can't read a book for 15 minutes without doing anything. Just my attention just goes. So that's a little bit of it. But also, I don't know. It's realistic for one. Like you're right there. You're talking to it. You're talking, and I don't know. It works for the book. It's literally just ones and zeros on a page. Like, and it's like. What is this?
Imagine reading in binary.
Like, kind of, it's what it feels like, right? There's nothing there. It's just words that could convey information. If that information were helpful or educational to me, I might pay attention for a bit, but
It seems we retain the exact opposite types of information.
I can't deal with
Because I generally only retain useless information.
Yeah.
I can't take it for entertainment. It doesn't work for me. But yeah, I guess. What was the one other thing that I wanted to mention about this too? We've discussed that before. Oh yeah, right. So like how it's not equivalent to a photographic memory, but I don't quite fully understand it. So you can't like stuff you've seen before you can see again in your head, and also stuff you haven't seen,
but not necessarily in perfect detail, or not literally every single thing I have seen.
Yeah.
Because it's also connected to your regular memory. Like
Yes.
Well, yes, it is regular memory.
but it's also not because
It is.
But I have regular memory.
So
No, you have very irregular memory.
I have
Yes.
memory. I can remember.
so yeah.
So I think your procedural memory is pretty bad. We've discussed that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my facial memory is
Yes,
Yes.
which is interesting. I mean, it's the exact opposite for me, but that's
So yeah, as example for you, if you hear a song in passing,
Sure.
but only really remember the beat of it,
Yeah.
What do you recall it as? Is it mumbling? Like if you replay
or do
it
you
in
hear
your
the
head-
words clearly?
No, there's no. Like, I mean, if I just hear the beat, then I can't hear the words because I don't know the words.
Yes.
Like I hear a song, hear the beat, but I can't add in words if I don't know the words. If I haven't heard the
Yes.
words.
Like if you, for example, heard the song
Yeah.
and only remember words for one specific passage,
Okay.
and for a passage that you don't remember the words for,
Yeah.
what do you imagine? Like, what
Nothing.
do you hear in your head?
Nothing. It doesn't exist. I don't know it.
What do you mean?
Like it doesn't exist. I don't know. I mean, how am I gonna remember a passage that I?
You just don't know the words. You
Yeah.
still know the beat and stuff and all the
Yeah.
instruments.
Then it's just a beat. There's no words.
Yes. So that is the same thing with visual memory. You just imagine, like you just see the things that you remember. You don't see things that you don't remember.
But you also see things you've never seen before.
Yes, but you can't add stuff you don't like. You can't remember things that you don't remember. What I'm saying.
When's the last time you remember seeing a cow with a cat's hat? When
Like a couple minutes ago in my head.
yeah,
Yes.
and before that, when is the last time you saw that IRL? You remember that seeing that?
That's different though. You're asking me to recall something I haven't seen. I can't do that. You can ask me to imagine something I haven't seen.
Yes.
What?
It is like transformative and non-transformative.
Yes. I cannot accurately recall something that I don't remember. I could imagine what it could have been like,
Yeah.
but that's not gonna be accurate, because I'm just imagining what it could have been like.
Yeah.
But the cow with the cat's hat, is that accurate? Like, do you see that
This
accurate?
doesn't exist! Of course it's not accurate to
Yeah.
anything!
But you see it accurately in your head.
No.
What does accurately in this context of this imaginary thing mean?
It like it would look if it were real. Like that's how it would look. Like as an actual.
Probably not! The fur color of the cow was different than that of the head, which would probably never happen in nature. That's kind of weird. Well, I mean, it could happen, but less.
I don't know.
likely.
This is like the disconnect. Like the one
It
thing.
is just like if you cropped out the head of a cat,
And put it on a
in
photo of a
photo?
cow.
and yes,
Yeah,
it just looks weird.
Just take the sound of Sabaton's To Hellback and put it in the mouth of John Fogerty. Do it in your head.
I can imagine John Fogerty's face and his lips moving while the song plays. I can't really imagine it in his voice.
Yes, it is really hard because there's just so many layers on top of it, on top of each other, like all the
But
different instruments and
Okay, no, then forget the instruments. Just rapping, like just the sound and the other person.
Again, I'm not even saying that it's like literally impossible and that no one can do it, but I'm just saying we can't do it.
Yes, that is basically it.
So is that because like you have auditory aphantasia, or is it because that's
I mean, I can think of sound. It's just hard to manipulate it in such a way to achieve the exact result there. I could
Yes.
imagine you saying something you've never said. Like I can imagine your voice, but like music,
do
it's tougher.
Yeah. because in music there's just so much going on.
So like you could do the images you could do even better than the audio.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Way better.
it only goes so far to really explain to me how you do it with the images.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
And then also
Also, you're worse at the audio apparently than we are, so.
it depends on what it is, but yeah, in part for sure. And then also it comes back to how is it not like a huge advantage? Like if you could do images even better than audio, and I can straight up hear a song in my head, like if I know it, I can hear it.
Yeah, me too.
And you can do that with images, and even more so than with audio, like to a higher degree.
Not necessarily the remembering.
There's
part of
different aspects of it.
Yeah.
Like what?
I was saying like the imagining part. I can do better visually than audio wise. Not necessarily the recall part.
Yes.
I don't know. This is always the part of the discussion where it just starts going in the circle because I don't get the answer that I want from the question that I ask, and you can't answer the question because there's no answer to it. It feels like.
Also because you sometimes just don't make sense.
Well, like ditto, right? Like you see how you don't make sense to me.
Yes.
Okay.
I can see that.
I want to understand how this stuff works. Like, no, wait, you've had this before.
Yes.
So you should be able to, like, empathize with my situation. Like, how
Yes.
look at it, right? So then, can you answer the questions, like, for yourself? Like, how would you have asked them from your previous self when you had it? Like, you know what that's like.
Sure, but you still can't explain it. It's just a complete disconnect there.
Psychologists in the comment section, talk to Alex.
You know, for psychologists, hey, give your boy some free pointers.
Teachers, maybe. Like, those are good at explaining stuff to kids who really don't have the ability to grasp it.
But teachers, like, they don't understand. Like, it'd have to be like a psychology teacher or something. Like a psychology professor, maybe.
I mean, I was talking more about just literally the
yeah, but they probably explain it the same way, right? Because like that's like it would have to be. I really want to know more of like the meta of it, like how it works psychologically, not really that explanatory part. But I'll try to come up with more questions or like how to somehow further this stuff because there's always more, of course. It's not easy. It's not easy to fathom this stuff. Like if there's anyone who has aphantasia, comments, Discord, hit me up, tell me how it works, or anyone who's researching that stuff or had it and it doesn't have it, like him, or vice versa. Maybe there's some people who used to not have it, but then they got it by getting hit in the head or something. Maybe that happens. So let me know. But yeah, that's the thing. Article about the aphantasia in the description of the video. Go check it out. It's not very long either. It's just because like nothing's known about it at all. But yeah, go check it out.
It probably exists.
It's a thing. Yeah, that's it. That's the end. But yeah, let us know what you think. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. We have songs of the week, and of course, Sergey's going to stay on for that segment.
Yeah,
and then we're going to get out of here because it was a long podcast. So, Sergey, I'm going to let you start off because you are the guest. What is your song of the week?
So, I'm gonna go with like kind of a classic that probably every Russian knows.
Oh, every Russian, yeah.
Yes, so no one in this room besides you. Great.
Yes. The song is called Komarova.
Hey.
Also sometimes known as fuck.
Yes, think of your Russian words.
There we go.
No, I can't remember right now. It's bad. Yeah, it's like just the first line of the song, basically.
Okay.
What it's usually known as.
And it is a Russian song.
Yes, it is a Russian song.
By whom, or is it just like a by everyone at some point? Sort of thing.
You know how this works. It's our song.
You don't have to look it up. It's fine. It's not a specific like artist in that sense. All right, JJ, what you got?
So, Sergey gave me this idea.
Yeah.
My song of the week is
Draconian by John Lennon. What is it?
It's Draconian Love by Aphantasia.
Yes.
With a V.
Yeah.
Because
that band is older than the Condition name, by the way.
Yes.
That band is from like the 90s or something.
99, I think
They're
it was.
old. And the name Aphantasia to the Condition came up in 2015. So these guys have been...
Like, Alex, like, sees the band name in a list and instantly is like, are they taunting me?
Yeah.
So Sergey was like, oh, you gotta pick a song of the week from that band.
There's a band called Aphantasia that was created in Germany in 1999.
the year and country in which Alex was born.
Like, what's that supposed to be about? Like, okay.
So yeah, the name of the singer is Igor Sklar.
На недельку до второго я уеду в Комарово, где качается на дюнах шереметьевский баркас. И у вас в карельских скалах на общественных началах, если только захотите, будет личный водолаз. На недельку до второго я уеду в Комарово.
Nice, dude. I like how that sounded.
There was just a lot of very Russian R's in there.
I will present, hereby I present one of the at least top 2 songs of this week. I haven't heard the Russian one yet. My song of the week is We Won't Die Tonight by Fiddler's Green. Here we go. It's a good song. It's catchy. It's the one that we can put in your head, and you can imagine it auditorily, and it's a good one. So thank you for watching the video. Drop your podcast, your facts and your songs in the comments, and psychologists, man. Free session.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of stuff to deal with. The Aphantasia might be the most interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
For like the layperson, but I'm pretty sure for true professionals, they're gonna find some more interesting stuff there in that old noggin.
What do you mean, man?
I'm saying you're absolutely crazy.
But then Sergey comes too.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So he got some stuff too. So
we're just all going.
We're all going. Yeah. We're gonna get
TrashcanTV goes to the shrink.
We are going to hire
desperately needed
office therapist as one of our first things. That shit is that's gonna revolutionize the workplace. Thank you for watching.
But you're signing like a waiver where it's like the whole non-disclosure stuff doesn't apply, and it's totally gonna be recorded for the channel.
Yeah. We bring him in like once a month. Like, okay, here's the mission protocols. You guys are nuts, dude. It's not normal. And by the way, I'm quitting. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching the podcast, and we're gonna see you in the next one. Sergey was here. It's a good time. And by the way, next week is going to be another special one. And there may or may not be even more guests than today. Hint. Thank you for watching. JJ.
That's it.
Sergey.
That's it.
That's it.